Danger, Will Robinson! Danger! No, Will Robinson! Danger!
Hello everybody, this is Carla again. I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to actually finish a book. It's just January and February have been busy months for me, so I haven't really had much time to read, which is odd. I started reading something and it took me like 2 months to finish it, which is rare for me. I'm here now with another video for another book, and this time I'm going to introduce you to my baby. This is my baby. This is my Nook. It's my ebook reader. I basically take it everywhere with me. I usually prefer to read books in print. There's something about the feeling of you holding a book in your hand that's, I don't know, it makes you feel better. It's very comforting and stuff. I know that it's terrible for the environment. I know, I'm sorry. I promise I will plant trees. There's just nothing that can compare to the feeling of holding a book in your hand. I normally prefer to just buy them in print, get them off Amazon or something. There are some books that I'm just so excited about that I can't wait the 2 weeks that it takes to get the book to me. So if I can't wait 2 weeks, I will normally just buy it online. I don't do it as much because usually I can just wait until the book gets to me because I prefer it. This is a special case. Let's just put it that way. By the way, this cover I love. It's you can see it here. It's got like little icons for the different like literary stuff. Like you see, this is Don Quixote. There's Moby Dick. The pipe, I believe, is Sherlock Holmes. This is Hamlet. They actually explain it around here somewhere. I bought it at Barnes & Noble and I really love it. But here's the actual e-reader, which I love. This is the classic Nook, which I believe isn't for sale anymore, but I bought it when it first came out. I prefer the Nook over the Kindle because the Kindle, it's got proprietary stuff. I can't buy e-books off of other places. I have to buy them off Amazon, and I don't necessarily like that. So I prefer the Nook because I can just basically read whatever EPUB I want. It doesn't have to be from Barnes & Noble, it can be from anywhere else. So just personal preference for me. Now, I don't believe they sell this model anymore. The new one is like the one that has the little light on it, which I would like to buy, except that it doesn't have SD capabilities. Like, you can't insert an SD card into it, so like you might run out of space, which obviously I don't believe I will, but I basically have all my books in here. Whenever I buy them off Amazon in print, I read them and then I download them to my Nook, so I don't have to actually be carrying the physical books around because I tend to move a lot. Lived abroad a couple times already, and you know, taking all my books with me would be really expensive, so I prefer to just have it all on my Nook. Works great for me. I still like to have the physical copies though. This little thingy basically has my entire book collection in it. I'm gonna turn it on now. The thing is, something happened in December. Something big. In case you've been living under a rock for the last 2.5 months, Star Wars The Force Awakens came out December 17th. I went to see it December 19th. The next week I went again. I already watched it twice in theaters. And as soon as I heard the fact that there's a novelization of it, I straight away knew that I had to get it, and I just could not wait, because for the next like 2 weeks after the movie, I was all about Star Wars, okay? I was freaking out. That movie was so good, I loved it so much, and people started telling me that there's a novelization, which obviously intellectually I knew there's always a novelization for most movies that are that big. People would tell me that in the novelization it's based on the script rather than the movie. And because of that, there's other scenes in there that we didn't get to see in the movie, and you know, a bit more interaction between the characters and stuff, and you get to hear how the characters think, which is something that you don't really see in the movie most of the time. And I really like that idea. So as crazy, insane as I was about The Force Awakens during those 2-3 weeks period, I decided to go ahead and buy the novelization. So I got it, and that's what I've been reading. It's taken me a long time because I've been busy, like I said. I'm up to the last chapter now. Here it is, you can see it, chapter 18. This is the last one, and I'm going to read it with all of you and comment as I go. By the way, before I start reading, I want to make it an emphasis and just reiterate the spoiler warning that I have at the beginning of this video. This is a huge spoiler warning. If you're one of the 2 people in the world who haven't watched The Force Awakens, go to the theater, watch it now, today, right now, and then come back and watch this video, because I'm literally reading the last chapter of a book that is a novelization of the movie. So there will be spoilers. Massive spoilers. I'm not joking. Don't watch this video if you haven't watched The Force Awakens yet. Just go watch it and then come back. You will thank me for it. That's all I'm saying. Star Wars The Force Awakens, Chapter 18. Within the corridors and confines, the administrative rooms and technical control sectors of Starkiller Base, there was panic. Oops. I think he just went to sleep, sorry. It was good anyway to stop. Even in the artificial darkness, in the shadow of the curtain of the descending dark energy, the forest felt clean. At least it did, until a singular figure came upon them and uttered a single word. Stop. Before she could fight, Ren raised a hand, halting her. I love that. But she couldn't fire. He was struggling also against her newly discovered ability, because Rey is a freaking Jedi. Yes. As well as the wound inflicted by Chewbacca's bowcaster. Very important. Gritting his teeth, he flung his arm sideways in a single powerful gesture, and the blaster went flying out of her hand. Inhaling deeply, he gestured again, and this time it was Rey who went flying, to smash into a tree nearby and slide to the ground, dazed and hurt. That thing in the movie, it was really insane. Like, just the way she flung it to the tree, it hurt. I cringed. It was horrible. Taking a step back, Ren reconsidered his opponent. When he closed the distance between them anew, it was with a purpose that had been previously lacking. Expecting an execution, he had found a contest. Now he had been touched. It was time for play to end. Advancing relentlessly, he was driven by something that Finn could not even sense, far less counter. Finn couldn't sense it. Does that mean he's not a Jedi after all? I mean, I know the movie kind of implies that he's not a Jedi, but we never know for sure if he feels the Force somehow. I mean, obviously Rey does, but Finn, we never, other than him using the lightsaber, we don't really know. So, is this confirmation that Finn cannot feel the Force? He's not Force sensitive at all. That's what I'm wondering right now. Switching off his own weapon, Ren extended an arm toward the device lying in the snow. It twitched and then began to vibrate as the Force called to it. Stretching out his hand farther, straining, Ren beckoned powerfully, and the lightsaber rose to come bulleting towards his outstretched fingers and past them. This, in the theater, oh my god, like, everybody cheered. Seriously, it was applause and cheers like you haven't heard since like the first Harry Potter movie or something like that. Like, people went nuts. This scene was fantastic in the book. In the movie, I'm sorry. Taken aback, he whirled to see the weapon land in the hand of a girl standing by a tree. Yes! It is you, Ren murmured. And this, oh my god, this, like, they didn't say this. This is one of those lines that weren't in the movie. It kind of gives a hint that Ren might recognize Rey from somewhere. I know a lot of people have speculated, but this, him saying it is you, it's like, it's someone he knows. He's seen Rey before. Maybe when she was a child, and that's why he can't really remember. That, to me, is a big hint that they know each other. Make of that what you will. Some people say she's Luke's daughter. Some people say she was just trained by Luke, or she was in the training group that Kylo Ren was in or something, and she survived. It's a big hint that he might know who she is already. In the movie, they do make a point of him being like, oh, there's a girl. And he gets like really angry and he's like, what girl? But other than that, we don't really get any any like actual confirmation. I think this line is very important, and I'm going to highlight it because I like highlighting my favorite lines or like important stuff. Moving on. His words unsettled her. Not for the first time, he seemed to know more about her than she did about herself. But she had no time to ponder his comment, nor was she inclined to do so anyway. She was too consumed with rage. By the way, I forgot to say at the beginning, this is like right after Kylo kills Han, which, by the way, I'm still massively pissed off about. They better not attempt to like redeem Kylo, because you cannot come back from killing Han Solo. Okay, you cannot. Chewbacca injured him. That's why they mentioned that before. Finn and Rey just kind of run outside and into the snow, and Kylo goes after them. Meanwhile, the X-Wing pilots are trying to attack the I think it's an oscillator, they said it was. It's like the weak point that's going to stop the Starkiller base from drawing energy from the sun or something. So they're on that right now. So Rey is very angry because Kylo killed Han, and she loved Han like a father. We know that already, so that's why she's so angry at him. I mean, not that she wouldn't be, he's evil, but still. Holding the haft of the lightsaber in both hands, she ignited the beam and charged. Heck yeah! Ren met her with his own weapon alight. Expecting weakness, he encountered only strength, because she's awesome. Supreme Leader. Oh, maybe I should try to do the accent. I love Hux's accent. Supreme Leader, the oscillator is failing. The collapse has begun. He looked downward. There is nothing that can be done. What do you think? Good? Bad? Yes? No? Let me know. Furious as he was, Snoke knew there was nothing he could do. So many plans so carefully laid. So many intentions that must now go unfulfilled. Why am I Canadian? Why am I speaking like this? Leave immediately, he added grimly. It appears that he may have been right about the girl. No kidding, he knew! Though Ren was bigger and stronger than Rey, their struggle had nothing to do with physical size. What she lacked in mass, she made up for in ferocity. Come on, it's not like Kylo Ren is like huge either. He's tall. Adam Driver's tall, I figure, but he's not like bulky or anything. He's more like emo, skinny teen. I don't know. Breathing hard, Rey looked up in disgust at the man looming above her. You're a monster. No. You need a teacher. He was beseeching her and insistent all at once. I can show you the ways of the Force. What is it with Siths always needing like a student? Why? Maybe that's why they always lose, you know, because they're always trying to seduce people to the dark side, and it's just, for some people it just doesn't work. A long moment passed in which Ren sensed a change in the air, a change in her. Then she opened her eyes and attacked viciously, in a way she didn't know she was capable of, striking again and again as Ren was slowly driven back. The flaring energy from the interacting lightsabers was more pronounced than ever in the flurry of her attack, and Ren went down. I don't know about this paragraph though, because in the movie you could almost see like Rey pause and like think of the Force in her head and just reach out to the Force so she could get that strength to fight him. I think this scene maybe would have been better served like completely from Rey's point of view, because we don't get to see what she's thinking at all, and we don't get to see her reaching to the Force, and I think that's important. It's not like we don't know that she's a Jedi, we know, so why not just show us what she's thinking at the moment? That was weird. He succeeded in blocking it, but he still took the full force of the strike against the haft of his own lightsaber. At this moment in the theater, I thought she had cut off his hand. And I think I jumped in my seat, like, did she cut off his hand? Did she cut off his hand? And my brother's like, I don't know, just what? Because we were all both watching the movie at, you know, at the same time for the first time ever, so it's like, just wait and see. In this book, they actually say it's just the lightsaber that she hid, but in the movie, it really did look like she had cut off something. Kill him, a voice inside her head said. It was amorphous, unidentifiable, raw, pure vengeful emotion. So easy, she told herself. So quick. She recoiled from it, from the dark side. That's fantastic. Why didn't we see that in the movie? We should have seen that in the movie. Oh my god. I had no idea she was tempted by the dark side. This is amazing. If we're kind of following Luke's storyline, it makes sense that, you know, the darkness would call out to her because she's that powerful. basically. You know, the dark side wants her. And it's not just Kylo Ren and not just Snoke, it's just the dark side itself. The Force as a living thing, the dark side of the Force. I wish we could have seen that in the movie. I really wish we could have. Maybe that way people wouldn't have these many complaints about Rey being Mary Sue. No, she gets called to the dark side too. Come on, guys. Come on. She's no angel. Turning away from the injured figure, she ran back to where Finn lay, badly wounded. A deep gully formed, separating her from General Hux and the arriving troopers. This I also wanted to see because I walked out of the movie feeling like, wait, should we assume that Kylo died? Should we assume that they all just died in the explosion? Because we never saw Hux picking Kylo up or anything. So I wondered. It's good that it's in the book. That makes sense then. Rising from the vicinity of the new canyon that had appeared behind Rey in the course of her battle with Kylo Ren, the Millennium Falcon came toward him. Hey, Chewie! Considering the general conditions and the unstable surface, its pilot made a surprisingly smooth touchdown because Chewie is awesome. That's what happens. A moment after they fled Starkiller Base, system became a binary. That's a weird way to say it exploded. Okay. No one was more surprised than C-3PO when R2-D2 came rolling forward to join the assembly. Wait, in the movie wasn't it BB-8? Oh no, wait, that was before. That was a different scene. R2! What is it? I haven't seen you this functional since... He was interrupted by a French farrago of beeping that all but drowned him out. Slow down, you're giving me data overload. Oh, 3PO, you're funny. An excited Leia moved closer. Of all the organics in the room, no one had a more personal relationship to a little droid than she did. Oh, I love that. Also, I love that they used organics. That is so funny. Instead of saying humans, it was just organics because, you know, there are aliens in the room, so... I've never had him beep with this much energy before. Come on, sure you have. R2! C-3PO's tone was that of a proud relative complimenting a member of his family. Of course, they're like brothers. Makes total sense. Rey and Poe were not excluded, though their sudden tight clinch of shared excitement led to a moment of mutual awkwardness. Hi, the pilot mumbled. I'm Poe. She nodded slowly, searching his face and finding that she liked it. What? I recognized the name. So, you're Poe. Poe Dameron, the X-Wing pilot. I'm Rey. I know, he smiled back a little more at ease. Nice to meet you. Amid all this shouting and spontaneous applause, Few noticed a protocol droid as he bent over the now quiet astromech unit. Oh, my dear friend, how I've missed you. I love this scene. Also, that bit about Poe and Rey. What was that? I kind of love it. I mean, maybe I'll just leave my comments to the end, but I kind of love that scene. Oh god, I would have loved to see that in the movie. Sitting beside him, a deeply concerned Rey noted the hour. It was time to go. Leaning into him as closely as the pod could permit, she kissed him softly, her words full of determination. We'll see each other again. I believe that. Thank you, my friend. Interesting to note that they just say she kissed him. They don't actually say it was in the forehead. In the movie, it was in the forehead. Nearby, Chewbacca was performing the usual last-minute checks on the ship's external systems. Ordinarily, it was a two-person job, but he insisted on doing it by himself. I miss your hand. Standing at the foot of the ramp, an uncertain and uneasy Leia found herself fiddling with the seals on the front of the jacket Rey was wearing. Foolish nonsense, she told herself as she continued. Unworthy of her status and position. But it felt so right and so natural to be doing so. What does that mean? What? Come on, I've already made my mind up to the fact that Rey has nothing to do with Leia or Han. Initially, when I went in to watch the movie and it started, I was totally sold on the idea that she should be, that Rey should be Han and Leia's kid. Even as the movie progressed and she started hanging out with Han and they started, like, you know, talking to each other and finishing each other's sentences and stuff like that, I was like, oh my god, please let her be his daughter, please let her be his daughter. When it turned out that it was Kylo, I was like, boop, boop, boop. It really hurt me, and it really hurts that she's not Han's daughter. And now they throw this line at me, like, oh, it feels so good to hold her, like natural. Why are you playing with my heart, people? Seriously, I cannot stand it. Don't even hint at me that they might actually be related. I'm not falling for that again. I'm not feeling that hurt again. And I think you're really mean. I think you're mean, people. People, mean. She watched until Rey was inside the ship and the ramp had closed behind her. Then she joined Poe, BB-8, and C-3PO in moving to a safe distance. Seriously? You're just killing me. Stop. Stop hinting that she might be her mother. It's not fair to my heart. A series of moans came from the Wookiee. I can't do the Chewbacca, sorry. Then he turned and sat down in the co-pilot's seat. Chewie, I love you so much. Oh my god, I'm speechless. Oh. Chewie groaned, and to make certain she grasped his meaning, gestured to his left. Toward the pilot's position. My heart is breaking right now, and I miss you so much, and I love that you basically gave the Falcon to Rey. I can't. I'm gonna cry. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. As she hesitated, the Wookiee reached over and mussed her hair. Oh. Grinning, she made a show of trying to slap his hand away. He had no idea how much this innocent familial gesture meant to her. There we go again! Familial! Why? You just love playing with my heart, man. They just do that. Wookiee and droid looked on as Rey, her old staff strapped to her back, began working her way up the steep, jungle-clad incline before her. This scene was another one of those scenes where they freaking played with me, and even my brother. This is like 2 hours plus into the movie, right? It's the very last scene. Everybody's already done with the popcorn, done with the soda. Everybody's like really, wanting to go to the toilet at this point. Like, we're just holding it in for the movie to end. Rey gets there. She starts going up the steps, and it takes for freaking ever. Lucasfilms, Abrams, you guys are such trolls. Oh my god. My brother and I were like, okay, but can you hurry? Can you move? Because we need to go to the toilet ASAP. Just move, Rey. Run. Go. You can do it. And she just took her time, going up all the steps. I'm convinced that Abrams and Lucasfilm and his crew, they're all trolls. Massive trolls. That scene was torture. Occasionally, she would pause to catch her breath and to look back. Each time, Chewbacca would wave. Oh. Had he been equipped to do so, R2-D2 would have done likewise. That reminds me that R2 doesn't really have hands. They could have given him a little, lighter, like BB-8, so he could, thumbs up her. The climb was steep, the air humid, and she felt herself tiring. No kidding. It was like climbing the biggest Mayan pyramid of the sun or something. Like, it was that many steps. But the thought of stopping never once entered her mind, thank God. Some distance from her, at the periphery of the forest, stood a figure shrouded in a simple black cloak and robe. It did not matter that it was facing away from her. She knew instantly who it was. Yet all she could do was stare in silence. This is the scene where everybody just, Whether motivated by her stare or by something unknown, the figure finally turned toward her and pulled back his hood. I mean, obviously it was the Force. Luke Skywalker. Dun dun dun. Remembering Rey reached into her pack and removed his lightsaber. Taking several steps forward, she held it out to him. An offer, a plea, the galaxy's only hope. She wondered what would happen next. That's the end. That's such a meta way of ending a book, man. This book is written by Alan Dean Foster, based on the script for The Force Awakens. Overall, I can say that it was okay. It wasn't necessarily great. I felt the beginning especially was very slow. The language Foster used was very, not complex, but very flowery. He would use big words for stuff. It stood out to me because several times you would have a paragraph that is full of the characters' inner thoughts, and I would stop and go, hey, you know what? Nobody thinks like that. Nobody speaks like that. Nobody thinks like that in their own head. You could have written this in a much simpler language. The story is already complex enough. It would have felt faster in a way. Once they hit the freighter with Han, and they're, dealing with the two gangs, space gangs. From that point on, it moved a lot better. He still had those points where he would use really flowery metaphors and stuff. It moved a little faster. It was easier to get. You were more in dialogue, more in action, more stuff was happening, so I like that it got better. You can't really leave out the fact that like half of the book was just really way overcomplicated in its style. It was at the point where they encountered the two space gangs that I noticed the turnaround. I think that one scene in the freighter, the whole thing with the space gangs, was actually the one scene that I thought was better in the book than it was in the movie. Because in the movie, you know, with the CGI raptors and stuff, it felt like a little bit cheesy, but in the book it was actually kind of cool. Without the cheesy CGI, it looked a lot better. In my head, it looked a lot better, I guess. I really like the way he described that scene, and I actually thought it was better in the movie. We get to see a lot of scenes that we didn't see in the movie, and we get to hear the characters' thoughts, which I think is really interesting. Leia's reaction to Han's death was a lot more poignant in the book than it was in the movie. In the movie, she just kind of fell down into her chair. In the book, she actually started to cry. Well, that scene with Poe and Rey meeting, I wish we could have seen that, because I really wanted them to meet. I think they would be good friends, actually. I don't know if they're hinting at a ship in the future or what, because I know a lot of people ship Rey and Finn. A lot of people ship Finn and Poe. Honestly, I wouldn't mind either. I wouldn't even mind if Rey just ends up alone. You know, like she doesn't end up with anybody. I thought it was interesting that maybe they were hinting at something like sort of between Rey and Poe. That would be interesting. Poe and Rey are my favorite characters out of the movie, and actually it's probably because I really loved Oscar Isaac and I fell in love with Daisy Ridley from trailer number 1. I would love for them to end up together. Poe had to sing in his movie Inside Llewyn Davis. He had to sing, and Daisy Ridley comes from a theater background, right? There was this little like video on Twitter where somebody asked them to sing, and they sing Baby It's Cold Outside, and it's like, it makes me smile every time I see it. I would love for Poe and Rey to actually end up together. I don't mind any of the other ships. I don't even mind if there turns out to be no ships. I don't mind that. But if I had a preference, I would prefer Poe and Rey to end up together. This is since before I saw the movie. So now that I've actually seen the movie and I've actually read the novelization, I'm really glad they included this one scene, because that was one of the things where I was like, wait, is she not going to meet Poe? I know. I'm starting ship wars as I go, but I wouldn't mind either ending. I'm really glad that they finally got to meet in that one moment. The flowery language kind of brought it down for me a little bit, but it was a good book. It was interesting. It gave you insight of things that you didn't really catch from the movie or didn't really see from the movie. You know, when Rey touches the lightsaber and she has like the Force flashback, you see a few flashes of things in the movie, but there's one that you don't see, and the book does mention that she sees, the first thing she sees upon the lightsaber is a little boy. Obviously they didn't put this in the movie because it would, I guess if we had seen that little boy, it would have made it a bit too obvious who he was or whatever. In the book, they can just say it's a boy, and we can make our wild assumptions. It's another one of those things that make me think that maybe Kylo and Ren have met before. Now, I don't know what that means, if they're related, if they're not related, if they just met, if they just, you know, came across in a corner somewhere when they were kids. I don't know what it means, but I thought it was really interesting, and I thought it was really interesting that it was left out of the movie. I really like that we get to see those little tidbits in the book that we don't get to see in the movie. Overall, the book was okay. I loved it for those insights. I didn't love it for the way it was written. Foster's style just didn't really gel with me, at least for the first half of the book. The second half was better. That way he was describing the island at the end, it was really flowery. I don't like that style. I think it could have been done better. You just don't need to make it that complicated. Probably give the book like halfway marks or something, maybe a pass, just barely. But I did enjoy parts of it. I did enjoy reliving The Force Awakens because it's a great movie. I wanna buy it on DVD and watch it over and over and over again. Maybe I will buy the audiobook version too, because I hear that they actually use the score in that one, and that would be amazing. For the moment, I like this. I didn't love it. I still like the movie better, but it's good to have those little insights from the script that we don't get to see in the movie. Yeah, that's it for me now. I will try my hardest to read a book faster. Like my next book in my list, I think it's going to be a Veronica Mars book. I'm not entirely sure, I have to check my list. I will try my best to read it faster so I can come back with another video for you guys, but in the meantime, tell me what you thought about the novelization. Tell me what you think about those little insights from the book that we didn't get to see in the movie. If you've read it, if you haven't read it, at least what do you think about these insights in this last chapter? And just what do you think about the movie in general? I mean, if you're one of the 2 people in the world who haven't seen Star Wars The Force Awakens, 1, what the hell is wrong with you? 2, get to the theater right now. And 3, you're gonna love it. Just go watch it. That's it for me today. I will see you guys when I finish reading my next book. I will have another video for you. For the time being, bye, and may the Force be with you. Right after he kills. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's their own downfall. Makes sense. The Data. The Data? She should be Rey's daughter. Rey's mother. Rey's mother.